pointing out the positives in public education. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me this hour is Pennsylvania State Representative Babette Josephs. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.
When we talk about schools, primarily on this program, we talk about schools that are failing. We talk about schools that have low test scores. But you say some schools are starting to make a difference when it comes to turning around test scores and educating children.
Well, I think our policy at the state level has made an enormous difference. We're the only state in the country, Jill, who in the last 10 years or so, since 2002, every grade that was tested, our scores went up across the state. That's just astonishing. And even in Philadelphia, where I know we have profound problems in our schools, certainly we know that, our graduation rate, our 6-year graduation rate is now over half, 63%. That's the first time that has ever happened, and that's maybe a turning around point.
So what do you attribute these numbers to? Is it because of the costing out study and additional funding to education, or are there other reasons?
Well, I think it's all, as you suggest, funding. But it's a strategically planned funding initiative. A lot of concentration on little kids, early childhood education, smaller classrooms, intervention for youth that have problems, summer school for students who need to get graduated. That's why our 6-year graduation rate went up. We offered summer school, and students went and they graduated.
So even though with the additional funding that's happened over the past few years, is this going far enough in terms of improved test scores, in terms of improved learning within the classroom, or are there additional steps that you think need to be taken?
Well, I think mostly we have to not step back from our commitment in investing in children. If we can keep our commitment where it is, or even increase it, I know we're in hard times. But really, this is an investment that's so important. And as the Republicans come into state government, I know they're going to want to continue to have a vast pool, for instance, of high school graduates who are ready to go to work, who work hard, who have good study habits, some ready to go on to some other training. That's how we bring businesses here. That's how we're competitive.
So that's the economic argument of it. But when we talk about the dollars and cents moving into this next budget cycle, $4 to $5 billion shortfall, how do you find additional funding for education when you're facing that much of a shortfall?
Well, I think if we have the commitment, we will find the money. And I like to say, Jill, either we're going to fund prisons and we're going to fund schools. So either we fund prisons here and schools there, or we fund prisons here and schools down here. And I'm for funding the schools.
So when we talk about what happens in this next legislative session, are there steps that you can take legislatively, for example, to ensure that education funding remains in place or even increases?
Well, I think we want to keep making the arguments to the new Republican majority and the new Republican governor that Pennsylvania needs to compete. We need to compete in the world marketplace, and we need to keep businesses coming here and jobs to be developed. I take it that was the Republican platform. That's why the people brought them into state government. They said jobs. They said industry. They said business.
All right. Well,
me too. I say the same thing.
Well, come back and give us an update and tell us about how education funding debate is working out.
Thank you so much.
We've been talking with Pennsylvania State Representative Babette Josephs. I'm Jill Horner.